Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final Sporting160EN podcast episode of this season. It is an absolute banger we have on today, a lot of content to get through. So I won't stall anymore. Let me introduce you to my co-hosts. First, we've got the main man, Chris. How you doing today, man?
I am doing good. Excited to be here with everyone to kind of take a overview look at the season now that we've had a few weeks to sit on it. Their real-time emotions have faded, so hopefully it's a more of a grounded perspective, but it'll still be probably emotion-filled.
Yeah, most definitely. And second of all, he is known as Mr. Saldana and the Big Steppers, Mr. Danny, man. How you doing today?
Yeah, bro, I honestly need you to explain that first.
There's nothing needed to explain, bro. So Kendrick Lamar just dropped another 10 out of 10. My bad. I probably fucked that up, but
yeah, it's just taking some use. I'm used to it now, but for like a week, I was like, "Holy shit, who is that?
Who the fuck is this?" I'll change it back soon. But Kendrick dropped the 10 out of 10 album. I got hyped. I bought tickets when he comes to Toronto. I had to.
Oh, when's the show?
August something. I don't know if it's a Friday. He has two shows here, so one's a Friday, one's a Saturday. I think I have the Friday show. Can't remember. Congrats, but thank you. I worked hard for it, man. My whole paycheck's going towards that shit, bro. But I'm feeling good, man. Feeling great. Glad to have a very special guest on. And before we get started, as everybody all knows here, I'm a big Mourinho fan. So shout out to Mourinho for the 5th European title. Let's go, baby. Sporting legend. I don't care what Porto fans say.
And last but not least, we've been hearing you request it so many times, so we decided to finally get them on. It is Albert from @Longball Football Podcast. How are you doing today, man?
I'm great, man. I think by people requesting you mean basically just Lauren. So yeah, thank you, Lauren, for requesting. No, man, it's a pleasure to be here. Like, I'm really pleased we could do this. Obviously, Barney can't be here, so Barney wanted to also say like a big up to you guys as well. We're both big fans of what you guys do. We watch regularly. We really enjoy the show. It's a pleasure to be here, man. I think it's a link up that makes sense, though. So yeah, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, most definitely. And just before we go on to anything else, you just want to explain to us or to the listeners who don't know what exactly what your podcast content is about?
Yeah, exactly. So it's the Long Ball Football Podcast. It's myself and my brother Barney. We're two brothers. We do a weekly review show, basically, where you look at the kind of best 5 or 6 games from the Premier Liga that week. We talk about the big three every week, but we also talk about the teams from all up and down the table. We did loads of content about the relegation battle. That was massive for us this year. And it's basically just, a lighthearted review show. We don't go too heavy on like analytics and stats. There's a lot of just like emotion, a lot of fun, and that's involved with being that's involved with watching football. And every week. But again, also this is the end of the season for us, so this is a nice way to go out with a little collab.
Yeah, most definitely. So without further ado, we'll just get on to the league table. So it ended up obviously Porto winning it all. A great Porto team, as we must say. 91 points is incredible for them, and they were a level above really all season. But in terms of the overall season, Sporting won Taça Liga, as we always do. It's our trophy now, pretty much.
Taça Liga merchants. Who would have thought, man?
I mean, I'll take it. Silverware.
I'll take it too.
But so I believe we're knocked out in the semi-final of the Taça de Portugal as well, losing to Porto, unfortunately. Super Cup winners as well. So technically we won 2 trophies this year. I know some people are a bit funny on that one. But and also reaching the round of 16 in the Champions League for the first time in, I believe, 11 years. So I'm going to give this one to you first, Chris. What are your overall rankings? So your sort of grade from A to F, A being the best, F being the worst, of Sporting season in general?
It's probably got to be considered like at least just for the trophy. I mean, I know that we're kind of used to winning the Taça de Liga, getting at least a trophy a season the last like 4 years, but people forget like up until 2014 there was like a 8-year gap. So like there was a long ass time when we just didn't win any trophies. So trophy here or there, man, it makes it automatically a B. So I'm gonna get a B+.
Yeah, Danny, what about you?
Yeah, I'll agree. A B. Even I mean the trophy, yeah, like Chris was saying, but even just us competing, you know, and I thought we played some good stuff this year. I thought we played better than last year overall. I thought we dominated more. We just didn't have I guess as Mourinho would say, the Strilinga with us. We didn't have Quats going up as much. Maybe that's what hurt us. Not sure, but
I think Kawhi's played hurt low key a lot of the season, and he wasn't at the same level, to be honest.
and it wasn't just Quat. We had a lot of injuries this year that goes unnoticed. Maybe it's, you know, compared to last year, okay, we have more competitions to play in, but you know, Bot was out for a while. That 5-1 slapping against Ajax, and I think even our away trip to
Ignacio
Dortmund,
missed
Ignacio
time.
was injured. I think.
Yep.
Who else?
Paulino was obviously injured.
Right.
Polina had like a stretch where he was injured
Paulino
and
was injured a little bit
and,
too.
Yeah.
Mitch's Rage at the end got a little
Mhm.
injured, got some, and then we had that month where like we were getting a red card every other game or every game. It felt like, you know, so it was tough. It was a tough season, but I still think we did well. We competed at the very least. That's all I ask for Sporting. You know, there's too many years where it comes to the title race, we come fourth or third or a distant second. You know what I mean? So at the very least, we're there or thereabouts. I'm content with it. I want more, of course, but I'm content with it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Albert is the unbiased entity, so to speak. So would you agree with those two?
Yeah, no, I agree completely with that, with what you guys said. Actually, I think it's almost a compliment to you guys that not winning the league is a disappointment. It's so easy to forget that it really wasn't that long ago that finishing in second place would have been a great achievement. So I'm genuinely very positive about this season from you guys' perspective. Obviously, we ended last year, like me and Barney loved Sporting so much last year. We loved the whole story. We loved Amorim. We loved so many of the players. There's not quite the same feeling this year, but I think if you take a step back and look at what was actually achieved, exactly the same points tally, only 2 more losses, although we know that in this league, that's the difference between winning a title and coming second. Generally, lots to be positive about. The Champions League was fantastic, I think. I'm not even going to say decent. I think it was a great result. Some of the games that you guys won were brilliant. Some disappointments. I think some of the disappointments come from like individual players not quite doing what we hoped they would. Obviously, Pedro Gonçalves had a very disappointing season. Paulino didn't kind of step up in the way that I hoped he would, or I believed he could. But in general, I mean, if you want me to give it a grade, I'm going very, very strong B. Definitely, I would almost be tempted to give it an A, but I think if you finish second, you can't quite justify it. So a strong B for me, definitely.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with sort of the strong B, or like you said, like it's sort of A, maybe A minus, just because, you know, we did have a lot more injuries this year, a lot more games than we had last year. Getting to the Champions League after the first game being battered 5-1 by Ajax, like I thought it was done then, and I think we came on and we said it was pretty much all done. So I mean, I think the way we competed as well, you know, 85 points, the same as last year, same amount of goals, I believe, as last year, a bit more goals conceded than last year. But I mean, if you said to us, I don't know, 2018, 2019, hey, Sporting are going to win the league and the next year we're going to finish second, I think we all would have said, yeah, 100%. Especially like with the Champions League as well. I know, obviously, we didn't have the best result in the round of 16 against, obviously, one of the best teams in the world and the most expensive teams in the world. But I mean, looking back on the overall season, obviously we didn't win the title, but like I said, Taça Liga, Super Cup as well. I mean, it's hard to argue that it wasn't a successful season, like you said, Albert. It's just like to say that winning the title is a disappointment is such a stretch from where we came. So yeah, I'll give it a solid B, or maybe just an A minus as well. But following on, we asked this question on Twitter. So we basically sent out the questions saying, let us know your end of season thoughts. Best player, underwhelming player, most improved player, underrated player, overrated player, biggest revelation, and game of the season. So I'll give you one each, and I'll start with you, Albert. Who do you think was Sporting's best player?
It was quite obviously Sarabia. I think a more interesting question was who was the second best player, because I think every single person listening and watching would choose Sarabia. I mean, I was saying on me and Barney's most recent show, we were talking about Sarabia. I had him as my overall player of the season from any team in this league. I know that some players have better numbers than him, but I think when you watch Pablo Sarabia play, for me, he's the best football player playing in Portugal. There's not another football player who has the technical ability that he has. There might be some who have the potential to match or exceed him, sure. But as a current football player, Pablo Sarabia is the best player in this league. I think when you watch him play games, especially against the kind of mid-table teams, he's just coasting through games, right? He's in second gear and he's just got a touch of class that is like really wonderful to watch. So he's obviously my top player, but I mean, if you want some honourable mentions, I would think of players like Mateus Reis, who really started the season as kind of, 6 months in. Well, maybe by Christmas you were kind of talking about Mateus Reis as the most improved player or the biggest surprise. But I think the form that he continued to the end of the season, I think he's up there with not just like a surprise player or an improved player, but genuinely one of the best performers in that team from the beginning of the season to the end. Like, I wrote that guy off so hard. At the end of last season, I was like, just sell him. Like, who is he?
I think
What's
we
he
all
doing
did,
here?
to be fair, yeah.
Incredible turnaround. Like, I'm so happy to bite my tongue on Mateus Reis, and maybe even a player like Mateus Nunes, who I think played at quite a high level for most of the season, not all of the season, but quite a high season. I mean, yeah, Sarabia is number one, but I wanted to make it a little bit more interesting. But yeah, definitely Sarabia.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to be in agreement there. But Daniel, I'll give the next one on to you. Most underwhelming player this season?
It's like a tie between Pot and Pelinha, in my opinion. But I'll give it to Pot only because of how high his output was last season. And I mean, his numbers aren't that bad.
His XG was still pretty high his XG versus what he actually hit.
Yeah.
So like, he was just more efficient last year.
He was,
like, the same amount of chances, basically.
Which was what I was gonna say. Like, his numbers technically aren't that bad. Like, if he didn't have the season he had last season, and he puts up the numbers that, okay, maybe we're not like, we're not saying the Liverpool links like we were last season, but we still think we'll have like a great player in our hands, like that'll build for next season. It's just that in comparison to what he brought us last season, I don't want to say he single-handedly won us the title last season, but his goals were crucial, and the amount of goals he scored last year was just phenomenal. So, maybe missing his goals on a few games, like I remember the Marítimo draw, or as our Aussie Tug in the chat said, like the Santa Clara away game. Maybe if Bot could have bagged one on those games, maybe
which he literally did win us the game. He did win us the game at Santa Clara
last season.
This season we were champions. Yeah.
Yeah,
in a pretty
exactly.
shitty game, windy. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'll give it to Pot, but I do think next season he's gonna explode. I've been saying it on here. I think a lot of it was that he was fighting that injury, right? So now he's gonna have a bit of a break. This summer is perfect because the World Cup's only in December, so he's gonna have an extended break. He's not. I mean, he wouldn't be called up to the Seleção anyways, but in this case, he's definitely not now, right? So he's gonna rest that foot. Hopefully, get it right for August. And I think next season we'll see him push, especially because now we won't have Sarabia. We'll see. Maybe Tincon comes in. That would be a nice pickup for us. But I just wanted to caveat that by saying, like, I think Pot's going to have a big season for us next year.
Yeah,
I hope so, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I'm inclined to agree. A lot of the responses we got were Pot. Paulinho was another one. I saw a few for Paulinho. People say as Gaio, but like underwhelming. Like, no disrespect to him, obviously, but we never thought he was going to set the world on fire. So like,
low key, Gaio was one of our top assists. Like, has one of our most
he is. He's like
third
this year. Yeah,
and with limited game time, I think we give Gaio a bit of a hard time for no reason. I don't get it. Not the greatest.
I think it was for that Santa Clara game, if because he was at fault for the goal, and it was just like,
okay. Mistakes
that was our first loss in, like, apart from the Benfica game, like in about like a year. So
fair enough. But if we lost against Portimonense on that Inácio mistake, we would not be ripping Inácio the way some of us are ripping into Gaio.
Yeah, fact. I agree with that one. But the next one I'm going to skip because it's most improved player, but I think we're all in agreement that it's going to be Mateus Reis on this one. I don't think there's any other shouts. But I'm going to open this one up to the room, but I'll go with you first, Chris. Most underrated player this season.
I think, to be honest, like the games, some of these, they mattered at the time. Some of them mattered more than others, but kind of by the end, they mattered less. Like Tabata low-key was kind of a Swiss Army knife, especially the last like month. So he definitely deserves a shout for that. Yeah, I'll go with Tabata.
Okay, Danny, what about you, man?
That's tough, man. Underrated.
It should be Bragança, but he just didn't.
He doesn't get enough minutes.
He
It's
didn't
the same
do
with
it.
Tabata.
Like I feel like Tabata literally contributed more this season than Bragança.
That's true. Yeah, I feel like Tabata, every time he came on, even though it was little amounts of time, he at least always did something, right? Like he never had a bad performance, whereas Bragança has had a few. But I don't know, bro. I kind of want to just say he's got you off the what I just defended him on, but at the same time, like he wasn't that great, right? I guess Inacio, we could put Inacio on there. I don't think he gets enough love. I mean, clearly Fernando Santos doesn't appreciate him. You know what I mean?
Maybe it may be Nuno Santos, but like I feel like he's not really that well kept of a secret anymore.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I wanted to. I mean, when I saw that question, like the name that came straight into my head was Nuno Santos. Like, I really, really love Nuno Santos. I think he's a very underrated player because I think he's like so adaptable. I think that goes against him sometimes. Like I spoke about this. We were on Quarterlinas with Zach Lowy, and I picked him as one of my top 5 Sporting players because I just thought what he offers the team is so underrated. The way he's so adaptable, he'll play in a front three, he'll play left wing back. I think Ruben Amorim loves him clearly because he knows he can rely on him. I don't watch every game as closely as you guys do, but I feel like Nuno Santos doesn't let the team down whenever he plays. He'll pop up with goals in important games. I think he's he's slightly underrated because he just doesn't have that solid spot in the team where you're like, that's Nuno Santos' spot, in the same way that maybe Pedro Porro has his spot, or any of the main players have their spot. I think that kind of makes him better. Nuno Santos, for me, I'm a big fan, and I think those kind of utility players that adapt for the team and play in multiple positions are often overlooked, and I think they're so vital. And I think he scored some important goals for you guys this season as well, and last season. So he would be definitely my pick.
I think he's definitely, we talked about Esgaio being towards the top of the assist list. I feel like Nuno Santos has led that list the last 2 years. And I just checked, he hit 10 goals, 10 G&A all comps this season.
Yeah. And we do always fit him into, like, he's not a left wing back. He has to adapt there.
Yeah.
And towards the end of the season, he's done a great job at adapting there, right? I'll agree with you, actually. Yeah. I was forgetting Nuno Santos.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone knows what I'm going to go, and it's the guy behind me, just because...
Hold on. Let me mute you. Hold on. Go ahead. Say your piece, bro.
Bro, I do think you're actually going to mute me. But like, from your similar thing to his guy, where like everyone just hates on him for some reason, and don't get me wrong, I know some of it is warranted. Like he's not a great finisher, and I'll be the first one to tell you that. But like, is he a big game player in my eyes? Yeah, goals against Benfica, Porto, Ajax versus Besiktas, like those were important goals as well.
By the way,
yeah, and I think he got 2 assists in that same game as well. Because I think we scored either 2 or 3 in that game. But like, I mean, I feel like he's just overly hated, and I think he should be able to score more goals in that sense, and like, I completely agree. But what he brings to the team is sort of like pressing and passing and link-up play. I think he is underrated, and I think next season, like you say, like Pot's going to come out with Shell. I think hopefully Paulinho will go back to the Braga Paulinho from a few years back when he was banging them in under Amorim. I think a lot of it is to do with confidence. I think you can sort of see it sometimes that he just lacks it, but hopefully, like you said, gets a bit more time off this time, and he's apparently had an ankle injury for the last 2 years. Hopefully, he gets to sort of relax that down and come back next season as a better player. But yeah, I'm going to go for Paulinho with this one. Next question.
Can I comment on Paulinho quickly, Sam?
Yeah, go on.
Just because I feel like he's quite a divisive figure amongst Sporting fans, and I think I definitely do lean towards like pro Paulinho. I do like him as a player, but equally I think he has underperformed this season. I think the one thing I just kind of almost feel sorry for him about is that the whole time he's been at Sporting, he's not had a serious strike partner, whether that's to play on the field with him or to be a kind of understudy. I think he's taken so much of the burden, like striking burden on his shoulders, which I think, I mean, I'm sure we'll come on to talk about the transfer window later, but yeah, I just think the fact that he's been like the sole striker at that club who was bought for such a significant amount of money, and even when you watch the way Sporting plays so often, he's not the focal point in terms of goals. He's more of a build-up player. Yeah. Just to carry out that, I do still think he should have scored more goals. Like, I want to make that clear. I'm not one of these guys who's going to come on here and tell you a striker shouldn't be scoring goals. He should be scoring goals. He should be getting, in my opinion, Paulinho's like a 15-goal a season striker and maybe 5 to 10 assists. I think that's good numbers for him. I don't think he got that this season. But yeah, I think he's someone who he still hasn't settled in yet. I think, and I agree. I think if you see him kind of more comfortable in the role that he's got, and maybe with a bit of striking support, I think there's much more to come from him. But I don't think he's had the conditions to settle in properly, even though he's been there 18 months.
Yeah, agreed. I'm with you too. I do hate on Paulinho, but it's also I think the one memory that's like just pisses me off about Paulinho is I remember him missing from like 2 centimeters off. Never mind 2 yards, 2 centimeters off, and he's looking at the grass like it was his fault. But I'm with you where like he's not the focal point. Like his main objective isn't to score goals like maybe a Slimani under JJ would be, right? Yeah. And he does like you know, I've said here he's not a true 9. He's not maybe a 10. He's like a 9.5, right? Where he's like build up starts from him back at goal, and then maybe he can run into the box.
Sort of the same argument that Liverpool fans make for Firmino. I think
exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a good comparison.
But I also think his biggest problem, and Sam kind of hit it earlier, is his confidence. The only thing I worry about Paulinho is that he doesn't have the balls to like really like deal with a big team, right? Like at Braga is perfect, maybe level for him, right? Because I even remember the first like 2 months that he was here at Sporting, and he like disabled his comments because of something, right? Like that sort of thing, like gets, I don't know, maybe I'm just too much of a Kobe Bryant fanatic, but it's just that mentality of it. That's like who cares, bro? It's Instagram. Turn your phone off. You can't see it afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Of course, I never have to deal with that pressure, so it's easy for me to say, but I don't know. I just think it's that confidence really affects him.
Yeah, from what I remember, it was the first 2 games he played, and I think he didn't score, and it was pretty awful in those first 2 games. And obviously the price tag and the relationship with Braga and obviously being a Veranda's marquee signing as well, I think played a bit into it. But like, I remember they commented on picture. It might have been with his family at his wedding or something, and like just like really like mean like comments about like his family and stuff. So like I get what you mean, but like I think there's a point where you have to be like, okay, I'm not gonna let people like speak about my kids or like my wife or parents. Whatever.
Fair.
But no, I think. Again, it's like the price tag thing as well. I don't think he's the most expensive anymore. Probably won't be if we get more of Vinagre, to be honest. But like, I mean, it's got to play a part, like being the most expensive signing in history, in sporting history, even. But
yeah, but he's not at fault. I mean, he said it himself. He's not at fault for the price.
Yeah, but I think that's got to be in the back.
But it comes with the pressure. I get it. Yeah, no, I do get it.
Yeah, but the next question is a bit of a harsh one, and I'll open this up to the room. I'll start with you. Most overrated player this season.
I knew this was coming. I saw this question on the comments, and this was the only question I couldn't come up with an answer to. It sounds so harsh. I just don't think you guys have had a season sufficient to really label someone overrated. I don't think there's an overrated player in your team. I mean, it depends obviously how you define overrated. For me, when I hear overrated, I mean a player that everyone thinks is good but actually isn't. I don't really think there's that player in your team at the moment. I think obviously we just spent a lot of time talking about Paulinho. He's a player that's underperformed, but then I don't think he's rated that highly. Pedro Gonçalves again underperformed, but he's backed it up in past seasons, so I don't think you can say he's overrated. So yeah, I feel really bad, but I'm gonna have to bail on this question because like
how about Adan?
I was gonna say, you guys ready for my hot take?
The only one.
He's the only one.
No. I would disagree with that. I think that's harsh. I think
I think
Adan's a
he's
solid
rated
keeper.
highly by
Like,
Sporting160EN, but I don't think he's that highly rated overall.
Okay.
Obviously.
no, maybe that's fair. I don't think he's a top. I don't think he's even a top 3 keeper in the league. I think he's probably top 5, but I don't think he's top 3. But I mean, this is obviously like hindsight is a wonderful thing, but it's looking more and more like letting Luis Maximiano go was a mistake, because obviously when you look at what Diogo Costa's done at Porto, and you had like a similar situation on your hands with Maximiano and Adan, you know, you could have had a much more lucrative like asset on your hands in Maximiano. But look, that's the past. I think Adan I would keep him for next season. Like, I think he's more than good enough.
Of course,
he will do the job, not like 9 games out of 10. But I agree, if you're going to pick one player, he's probably not quite as good as perhaps people think.
Yeah. So I assume Danny and Chris are on the same boat there with Adan. Danny, do you want to go first?
that was my hot take, because especially towards the end of this season, he's had some. I think the players have figured him out.
Actually,
if you're one-on-one with Adan, you chip him, because he's not expecting.
He's awful at that. Yeah,
he's not expecting it. And like the thing is with Adan is like looking back to last season, he would have maybe 1 or 2 shots because we were very dominant, very ball dominant, and then our defenders would do the job. And then that 1 or 2 shots that he would get, he would save, and he would be brilliant at it. This season, I feel like maybe we were a bit more leaky at the back because we didn't have a solid 3. You know, like Inácio would be out a bit, and then Reis, who I think is more of a left back than a center back, he would maybe push forward, and then we would get caught off the counter a lot. But I feel like we've had more shots against this season, and he's let us down a bit more this season. So in my opinion, if anybody's going to be called overrated, it would be Adan. But nonetheless, I do think next season, of course. I mean, he's brilliant still. Like, he's still good enough to be our keeper. But I'm with you. I think his
backup was just re-signed for another year today. I guess.
Yeah,
the fourth
third choice. His backup's backup.
Yeah.
But I'm with you in terms of I don't think he's top 3, because I think, or if he is top 3, he's 3rd, because I'd say Diogo Costa's easy first. I would even say Mateus from Braga would be 2nd.
Yeah, I would agree.
And then maybe Odi, maybe Adan over Odi. That's tough. That's tough.
That is quite tough, actually.
As a Sporting fan, I'll put Adan over.
I don't know. I think
Bruno Varela.
I feel like Odi's had more frangos, but he's also maybe had another season or 2.
But I also feel like Odi has had more shot. His defense has been leakier.
True.
Chris, what's your? Do you have a hot take, or is it Adan as well?
It's either Adan or, honestly, Mateus Nunes. Not so much that I think that like he's not good or whatever, or I just feel like he was in cruise control the last like 2 months of the season. I don't think Mateus Nunes finished the season that strong, to be honest. He still had his moments in certain games for sure. But I mean, some Sportingistas is probably to think that he shouldn't leave for like under 45 million or something, like 40, 50. I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest. No. But that doesn't mean he's not a good prospect and that he could still continue to grow if he went to England, etc. You know.
Yeah.
There's 2 good ones in the chat. Hold on. Casa de Paiva saying Bragança.
I can see it. I can see his point.
And then
he's overrated amongst Sportingistas for sure.
Maybe, yeah. DP Comp saying Palhinha because Ugarte replaced him easily. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
True.
Do you want to hear my hot take?
I would say he replaced him easily.
Yeah.
So I've got a bit of a hot take with this one, but before I get onto it, so the most players people were saying, Palhinha was one quite a lot. A lot of people said Vinagre, but I don't think they understood the question really. I think they were just saying like the worst player. But I didn't see many for Adan, but the most I saw was for Palhinha. Paulinho obviously was another one there. But for me, I think it's between Coates and Inácio, especially this season. I think like the Braga game sticks out in my memory so much because they were both at fault for the goals, and some of the goals we've conceded has come from them too. And I think maybe fatigue played a part in it. Obviously, they say Coates' knee is playing up again, or obviously, no, it might be a part. But like in terms of the question where it's like, who do I think is overrated compared to like what the Sporting fans think? Like I see a lot of people like say like Coates can never do wrong. Like, oh, it's Coates unlucky, whatever. But like if it was anyone else, if it was Fadal, if it was Luis Neto making that mistake, like he gets shat on for every single mistake. But sort of Coates and Ignacio get a pass, and it's what annoyed me about Thiago Tommaso a season ago, where it was just like, even if he had a bad game, it's like, okay, he's young or he's still learning. But it's like, yeah, but you don't really want that in the team. You want someone who can score and who's not learning, especially in like a title race that we're in this season. Like, don't get me wrong, I think Ignacio and Coates are good players, but obviously Coates is getting older. Talk of the injury, like I said. DB Comps too seems to agree, saying Coates too, especially compared to last season as well, considering how much of a rock he was, not even in defense but up top as well. From this season, I think he's massively digressed, and maybe it's not his fault, like Fadal did as well. And I think the whole defense in general just sort of digressed. But for me, I think it's between those two. But yeah, like I said, it was more those. Go on.
Well, do you think that Ignacio would be able to get any burn on a Premier League club that is in theory going to be competing for like the European spots, like top 8?
I can see Man United just because of how bad Maguire is at the moment.
I was saying Man U or Newcastle. I was thinking both of them, which is
I was going to say Arsenal as well. Those are my 3, I think.
Yeah.
Bro,
but obviously, yeah.
Even Tottenham, because they play with a back 3, right? Who do they play? Romero. Who else am I thinking? I'm shooting a blank right now.
I think Romero Dyer, I think, plays there as well.
I think Ben Davies has been filling in at left centre back as well, which is so there is actually a gap there.
I think he'd have a spot at Tottenham, especially as a back 3.
Yeah,
I think he fits in most places. United especially. It's just if United have the balls to drop Maguire.
Yeah, I think obviously not Liverpool and not City. I don't think he gets into Chelsea's as well.
Rudiger maybe.
Yeah, but I think they've got so many. They've got quite a lot.
So you think he's ready? You think that if he got there, like his English, like everything, all things considered, like you think he's ready for that?
I don't think he'd be very good, to be honest.
But he'll grow into it though.
Newcastle, I think, would be a great start for him.
Yeah,
like obviously that team is building, and no one expects results instantly. Mm-hmm. But like, I would say, do not go to Man United because every player there is like, I don't know. It's like a poison chalice almost. Whoever goes there, it just turns bad. Like Pogba was like one of the best midfielders in the world at Juventus. Went to United and was awful.
It feels like a really toxic like fan base media relationship. It's just like it's pretty gross. But I do enjoy spectating it. But I wouldn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah, exactly. The last question I'll go for is again opening up to the room, and that's a game of the season. I'll start first and just say the Dortmund one for me, just because I was there. It's a bit more special to me, and obviously the impact that the result had within getting to the round of 16, and the emotions that day were fantastic. So that's I don't think anyone expected us to beat them 3-1 either. So I'll put that up there. Danny, I'll go with you. What was your game of the season?
Yeah, bro, I'm inclined to agree. I think that was our biggest one. Got us through to the round of 16. I mean, there's another good one, right? Like the 3-1 to Benfica is also really big, but and I think it made us really all dream that we can win the league. We might have been top of the league at that point. I can't remember. Maybe we were level with Porto. But I'll agree with you. I think the 3-1 at home to Dortmund was huge because we played really well. It was big goals. Nobody expected it. We were already written off after 5-1 our first game against Ajax, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that was huge. So I'll agree with you, dude.
Yeah, Albert, do you agree, or do you have a different one?
No, I do agree that was probably, I'm sure for the fans, one of the high points of the season. When I was thinking about this question, from my perspective as not a Sporting fan, I was kind of thinking, what games did I feel most positively about you guys? And I think this is going to sound like a kind of backhanded compliment, but I think a lot of that was at the beginning of the season. I remember at the beginning of the season, we had this whole kind of dynamic of are Sporting going to be able to do it again? How are Porto going to look? And I remember, I mean, even going as far back as winning the Super Tessa. Was that against Braga, right? Against the Super Tessa?
Was against Braga, yeah.
I remember watching that game and just almost feeling relieved because I was like, oh yeah, they're doing it again. They look great. Like the
Pedro
team
Gonçalves
looks great.
scored a banger outside of his
Exactly.
foot.
Like everything was back in place. I kind of breathed a sigh of relief. And even like the start of the season as well. I think it was obviously it's not one game, but the kind of first 3 games of the season there were some good wins there. And I think everything kind of started really well. And that was, yeah, again, I don't want this to sound like a backhanded compliment, but you know, at the beginning of the season, things were kind of looking really good. So I would, to be honest, I would go back that far and say, yeah, probably one of those games for me.
Yeah, fair enough. Last but not least, Chris, what would you say is our game of the season?
It's tough to not do one of the Champions League games because I feel like the 4-0 against Besiktas, the 4-1 against Besiktas in Turkey, and the 3-1 against Dortmund needed to win by 2 goals. Went up 3-0 and then conceded a stupid goal. So imagine we're up 2-0 and then we conceded the stupid goal and then it's still not enough, even though we beat Dortmund, which would have been really classic. Yeah, so it's tough to not do any of those Champions League games.
Yeah, I mean, all good shouts in my book. We'll move
biggest
on.
Road win, biggest home win, probably. You know.
Yeah, most definitely. But yeah, we'll move on. So we tweeted out something. We do it every year. I don't know if we cover it on the podcast every year, but we basically tweet out your Ruben Amorim, who are you keeping and who you're letting go, and then we list the various squad members, and we'll have the polls to decide who goes and who stays or who goes on loan. So Albert, you're going to be Verandas for this one. Chris, you're going to be Amorim. Danny, Hugo Viana, and then I'm just probably someone else, a scout. We'll go for. I can't think of anyone else at the top of my head.
You're that like 26-year-old scout that they just hired who was working in England.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it. It works out for me. But so obviously for the most obvious ones, I'll just read them out and say what the audience went for, and then we'll discuss the ones that. So I'm pretty sure all of us are in agreement that we're going to keep. We need to keep Antonio Adan. Is that controversial, or has anyone got any other controversial opinions?
No.
I think we really need to start thinking about his replacement.
I agree.
In a more serious way than Andre Paulo on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, most definitely.
João Virginia, I think, seems like they're going to attempt to re-sign him. I don't know if that's it either, to be honest.
Thank you for that segue. João Virginia is the next one who comes up. So, Chris, you were on the topic. So the polls were keep and then brackets buy permanently, keep brackets or terminate loan. So keep, extend loan won 60% of the votes out of 600 votes. So are you inclined to agree to extend the loan?
I guess, but I'm not really sold either way, to be honest. He hasn't convinced me to hate him, but he hasn't wowed me. Like even Max, I feel like wowed me in his limited minutes more than Virginia did in his limited minutes. So the jury's still out, but I don't have that much confidence.
Yeah, Danny, what do you think? Keep it, extend, or terminate, or buy permanently? What are your thoughts?
Not buy, definitely not buy. I mean, I'm not opposed to loaning him, but I don't know. The only problem with this question is I have.
The thing is if we bring him back on a loan, then we won't get anyone else. So.
Yeah, exactly. And the problem with that is I don't have a name in mind to that we should go after him instead. It's not like there's a lot of like young keepers in the league that maybe we can even suggest or something. But I'm not opposed to loaning him back in because he hasn't been horrible. But it's like Chris said, like at least Maxi in the little minutes he's had was a lot better, like on his feet, shot stopping, everything, commanding in the box. But $5 million for him is ridiculous. Let me also just say that. How long is his contract up with Everton? Maybe we can get him on a free. I'm not opposed to that. I wouldn't be mad at that.
2 more years, I believe. So
damn.
2 more years, including the season. We're about to. Well, we're gonna have in a few months' time.
Marcus Edwards just called him Drake on the recent selection podcast.
Yeah, he did.
So
yeah,
know,
maybe that
Toronto
keeps him
connections.
around.
Maybe we should keep him. You know,
It seems like Schwann's his boy. So if we get rid of Virginia, then Marcus is not going to have anyone to talk to anymore.
he doesn't talk much anyway. So
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, Mr. Randus Albert, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely send him back. I find it bizarre that any team would loan in a reserve keeper. I just find that bizarre. It's completely unnecessary. I think all that does is block a path to a young player. I mean, if it's a reserve keeper, just get the under 18 keeper in. I mean, you know, that's what I would do. I just think it doesn't make any sense. Realistically, is this guy ever going to be your number one goalkeeper? If he is, great, but I don't think anyone's really expecting that. So I just wouldn't bother personally.
Yeah, fair enough. Next one is Andre Paulo, which I'll skip because he's staying. Most of everyone said keep anyway, which is weird
Why?
for
Why?
the
all
vibe.
four goalkeepers.
Vibes. That's a vibes-based answer.
Yeah, for all four goalkeepers apart from one, which we'll get to, they said keep. So next one is Diogo Kalai. I mean, loan was the next one, and I personally voted for loan.
I think he seems
Might as
like
well.
he's kind of ready, to be honest. You know, but
Yeah.
I don't want him to loan to just sit on the Gil Vicente bench, or for example, or the Portimonense bench, the Vizela bench. He needs to keep playing. You know,
Second
be in
division.
youth league again. We'll be in youth
I
league
would
again.
love second division.
Ooh, second division would be sick. He's only
Like
17.
Fondella,
so-
you know, like fighting to get promoted, or fuck, I was gonna say Academica, but they just got
Even
relegated.
mid-table
Never mind.
at least. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's good enough for that. And that would
Yeah.
be a step up, but probably wants to play youth league again, which will be in. So I don't know. It would be cool, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm inclined to agree. I think it was a few months ago said that he wants him to be the sort of third option. Then he's trying to negotiate Virginia, and then he's re-signed Andre Paulo. So is Andre Paulo the fourth option? Is he the third option? Is Kalai the fourth option? I don't get it, to be honest.
I don't think you need four keepers. I don't think any team needs four keepers. Like, yeah,
No,
that seems strange.
I remember a few
unless
years
you're
ago.
Chelsea, and when did Peter Cech get that header injury, and then the keeper got fucking substituted the second later, or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a few years ago for PSG as well, they had like Keylor Navas and like some Sergio Rico, and they had like four like first team
Kevin Trapp.
goalkeepers. Yeah,
Just
Kevin
won the
Trapp.
Europa League.
And I think Buffon, that was where Buffon was there as well. So they had so
True.
many keepers that they could have just played, and they had four good ones. But, you know, fair enough, each their own. Next one is Gonzalo Inacio, which I'm going to skip because it's keep. Same with Coates. An interesting one, I thought, though, was Luis Neto. So 600 voters again, and most people voted for keep, 69%. 29% voted for sell, and some people voted for loan for some reason. But Albert, I'll start
Loan
with
to
you.
Vardazine. You get it back up.
Yeah, I mean, he's I think he's 35 now. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone can say otherwise. But, you know, getting up there in age, playing limited minutes, but stepping in when need to. Would you look for someone else, or do you think Luis Neto is a good player to have?
Personally, I would give him a 1-year deal. I think that would be the smart thing. I think I know St. Just was a good signing, but I think with Fidel leaving and Inacio, we don't really know where he's going to be. I think you could still be slightly light at centre back. I don't think he's earning that much money, is he? I think a 1-year deal. He's looked fine when he's played. To me, I think he'll be a good cup game player, good experience. There's nothing wrong with having him for another year, personally.
Yeah, fair. Danny, Chris, any points to that?
No, I agree. I think
Agree.
he's earned. He stepped in when he was needed. He was good this season, to be honest.
And he turns 34 tomorrow, so happy early. Actually, in 15 minutes in Portugal. Good for you boys.
Yeah.
But DP Comps in the chat said he's also good for the dressing room.
Good for dressing room, yeah.
So I
One of
think
our
definitely
captains.
a leader.
Yeah, he's in the
Yeah.
captain hierarchy. Yeah, he's worth sticking around. He's showed that he can play enough that he's worth keeping around.
Yeah, most definitely. So the next one was for Dahl. So the only two options I gave was keep, renew, or sell, or brackets let contract expire. So again, 600 votes, 90% said let contract expire, which I was quite like,
Which it did.
I didn't think it'd be that high. Yeah, it did expire. Yeah, I think it expired.
It might have
today,
been
officially.
skewed because people already kind of knew that he wasn't coming back. To be honest. Also.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. But does anyone disagree with letting his contract expire? Does anyone want him to renew? No.
He probably dropped his performances by about like 60% season over season. To be honest, he was hurt too. To be fair, but seemed like a good guy, nice dude. But yeah, let him walk.
Yeah, most definitely. So next one is one I find interesting. So it's Eduardo Quaresma. That first sort of 2 months when Amorim came in was very vital, and then got injured and didn't really play that much. Didn't play a lot in the season we won the title, making sporadic appearances. Obviously on loan to Tondela, who they got relegated with. So 55% said keep, 40% said loan, and 4.6% said sell. Chris, I'll come to this you with this one first. Keep, loan, or sell Quaresma?
I think we got to keep him just for numbers. To be honest, we need more center backs. We didn't have enough this season. We're losing center backs, so the center backs that we got just broke even with the ones that we've lost so far. We might lose Inacio, so it's like, unless we're signing 2-3 more, which I do not think that we are. I think that he gets in the squad for numbers. To be honest.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Danny, what are your thoughts?
We got to give him at least preseason. But if we're going off his loan, we got to loan him out again. We got to loan him out again. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Albert, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think probably keep him. I think his loan was really interesting. You know, I think I'm always pleased that he went to a club that got relegated, because I feel like when you play for like a big club like Sporting as a youth player, it's all a bit luxury, right? And then I feel like for a centre back, especially going to a club where like it was tough, like it was really tough. It was not glamorous, and they didn't do well. And you know, he was conceding goals. I think in a way that's great experience for him. I don't know whether loaning him out again would really benefit him. So I agree with what the other two said. I think if you're a bit light, I don't think he's going to start. I think it's a big season for Quaresma though, because I feel like he kind of has to do it this season, or it's possibly not going to happen, because he's not going to be young forever. There's going to be young centre backs coming up behind him, and I would keep him and hope that, fingers crossed, he takes his chance and can get some good minutes and convince everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go disagree with you, all of you. I think a loan would benefit him, but not in Portugal. Sort of the Thiago Thomas route of like a Bundesliga club, or I think maybe somewhere in Spain, maybe even if it's like the Spanish second division, or like Italy, somewhere like that, where, you know, because I think the one thing Amorim had against him is that he was sort of a joker, and he might not have taken training too seriously. If you put him in like a new environment where he doesn't maybe speak the language, or limited access to the language, I mean, maybe it will mature him more, and I think it will. If he does well for like a mid-table, I don't know, Serie A, La Liga team, then not only does his estimation go up in Amorim, it also goes up in the market. If he does want to move on, if he doesn't want to stay behind like Coates, Inacio, and Saint Just. So, me personally, I say loan. Next one, I'm going to skip over Thiago Ilori. 93% said sell, 5% said loan, and 1.9% said keep.
I think we should keep Ilori.
You reckon? On those wages?
I'm sure he's got a large market begging for his signature.
Oh dear.
Come to New York Red Bull, bro. I'm sure the offer's still on the table.
Right? Yeah, no.
I didn't watch much of
not
Vista.
anymore.
Was he good? Was he all right?
I think
scored that one
played
goal.
6 games, bro.
He was not great at Boavista, unfortunately. I think he got overshadowed by like a younger pairing, so he didn't even have a great time there. I feel a bit bad for him, but nah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Sell, I'm pretty sure everyone here is going to agree. Next one, skip over Matthew's race. Keep, 95% said keep, out of 609. Next one, interesting. So Ruben Vinagre. You would think most people would say sell or loan, but he actually won the vote with 50% saying keep, 30% saying sell, and 15% saying loan. I'll start with you. Obviously, a big investment. I think it was one that Varandas was like, well, insert a clause. Maybe didn't think we would get into the round of 16, and then obviously it became automatic as soon as we got there. Do you think he needs to? So I'll start off with first. Women personally, I think he should go on loan to get some of that confidence back. What do you think? You think you should keep him in the team or loan him out, or do you reckon maybe try and cut ties and see if George Mendes can get him somewhere else?
I think if you get 80% of what you paid for him, then you sell him. But I don't see that happening at all, given the way he's played. So I think you have to keep him. I think I find it so weird, man, because do you know, I listened back to, because me and Barney recently did a end of season review show. So I listened back to last season's one because I just wanted to get an idea of where we were at last season. And we were talking about Ruben Vinagre as one of the best players in Portugal. We were like arguing that he could be the left back in the team in the season. So
he was the obvious in-league replacement at left back.
He was. It just ticked every box. He performed well in the league. He was proven at a smaller club. He was available. So it is a shame that it's not worked out. I just don't think you can sell him unless you take a big loss, because and I don't think you can afford to do that. So I think you have to keep him. Look, it's not over for Ruben Vinagre. You know, he's working under a great young manager. He's still playing for a good team. He's got summer off. Mateus Reis transformed from one year to the next. Maybe the same thing could happen to him. I just think, from a financial perspective, unless, like I said, unless you can get most of what you paid for him back, I just think it doesn't make any sense to sell him. And I don't know about loaning, maybe, but then what if you loan him and he doesn't do well, and then he's even worth even less than what he is now? I think that's risky. So I personally keep him.
And he's just in the carousel of the Renans and the Elotis and
exactly. I think you've got too many players like that. So get him back, get him in the office with Ruben at the beginning of preseason. Ruben just needs to say to him, look, you're my man for this season. I believe in you. We're going to do great things. Get him going and just really work with him and hope for the best.
Yeah, fair enough. Chris, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think we got to keep him just because unless you know, our man George can hook us up with an Olympiacos coming in with, you know, 80% at least of the amount, then sure, go for it. But yeah, I don't even think he can swing that one quite yet. I mean, he needs to play like decent, you know, and then maybe he can flip him for January for that amount, you know. But we need something, brother.
Yeah, the thing was as well, he was quite good for us in like the first 2 or 3 games of the season. I remember people saying that he was obviously not as good as Nuno Mendes, but was. It
was our immediate red flag though that he always got subbed out in like the 65th minute.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Danny, what are your thoughts, man?
I'm with you guys. We don't have a choice. We have to keep him at this point. But my worry is if it's the same, what are we looking at next season? Because then he even if we loan him out, it's that carousel that we were saying, right? So it's going to be tough. But I mean, you know, I think Reis will be the center back. So, you know, a back three of, even if Inácio leaves, the back three of Reis, Coates, and St. Just. Vinagre, you know, that's his spot to claim. You know, there's a debate going on in the chat between him and Nuno Santos. I personally think Nuno Santos should be better in that position. It depends on the game, of course, but they're both, you know, the same sort of player where they're looking more so to attack. It's tough. We have to keep him. We paid so much money for him. We have to keep him. We don't have a choice.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm not going to disagree with you there. Next one's skip Pedro Porro, 97% said keep. I imagine the people click sell either was a misclick, or maybe if it was to sell on for quite a lot of money, they might have pressed sell, which is fair.
Christian's been talking about him to Real Madrid for like weeks now, months.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see.
I don't know what the rules are with transfer windows, like going from one club after you've just signed.
I don't know how
it works.
In the NBA there is like that, like 3 months, I think it is. I don't remember. I always go back to Demiral. That was an immediate flip, I feel like, you know.
I think Chiani as well, when we signed him for like a day, the French centre back. I'm not sure if you guys remember him. 2015.
Right.
So,
George is his first transfer as well.
I think the Porto signing would count for this window though. For this, actually maybe not, because I guess it'll only take effect afterwards. Never mind, you're probably right.
I think it's okay because I think I remember, was it Alvaro Morata, the striker? Real Madrid did a similar thing where he like went on loan to Juventus, did well, went back to Real Madrid. Yeah, something like that. Or they had like a low buy clause, yeah. So I think it's possible.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Next one, controversial. We spoke about it a little bit ago, but Ricardo Esgaio, 41% keep, 54% said sell. I mean, Danny, we touched on it earlier, but do you reckon we could cut ties with him, or do you reckon maybe just keep him around?
Okay, we can cut ties with him. Who's paying? What do we pay for him? 6.5.
Yeah,
5.5.
Like 80% of this pass or something. Yeah.
5.
Yeah, I think it was 5.5.
I'm back. Like, are we gonna recoup that?
No.
Keep him. He's good. He's good off the bench. The only thing is, so I think Porto will eventually leave. The only person that suffers here is Gonçalo Esteves. I know we'll get to him. So, fuck it. I'll say the hot take already. That Dave Pereira said to me, actually. So shout out to Dave. Gonçalo Esteves needs to go to Gil Vicente next season. That would be brilliant.
I thought the same thing earlier today. That's really weird, man. I was thinking that because their right back was on loan and he's gone now, and he was so important for them. Yeah,
exactly. So keep Isgaio, loan out Esteves. If we can get money for Isgaio, if somebody can buy him for 5.5, like if our boy like Christian,
that's a Braga the Sporting price, bro. That's not a normal price.
If maybe Olympiacos comes in, our boy Georgie, does a miracle, maybe. But if not, and that won't happen, keep him. Just loan out Esteves because he's the only one that's going to suffer from this.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's going to be in agreement. We keep Esgaio. Is that right?
Yeah, I think we keep him.
Cool. Yeah, a segue. Gonçalo Esteves was the next one. 90% said keep, 9% said loan, and I agree with Danny. I think he's got to go on loan, and I think that is the rumor going around. But obviously, it just depends what team he goes to. I think it will be a team within the league. I don't think he can go abroad yet. I don't think he's ready. But like maybe Gil Vicente is a good shout. Maybe one of the new promoted teams that might come up. Chris, what are your thoughts? Keep, sell, loan?
The rumor is that he could be almost certainly loaned. But like we were just talking about, if on like September 2nd or August 28th, they decide to sell Pedro Porro, they've already loaned Esteves, then we're caught with our pants down. Mm-hmm. So it's like I need a guarantee that Porro's on the roster.
Yeah.
If there's no guarantee that Porro's on the roster, bro, I would literally rather start Esteves at that point than Esgaio, And Esgaio's the depth guy, bro. He can't be the regular starter on a team that's trying to seriously do anything. Oh, and then we'll just panic buy some other like shitty in-league right back on deadline day, because the Portuguese league will extend like a week further. There's better plans than that, So yeah, I just don't want that to happen. But I do think he should go on loan in the top flight, and that would be I think he'll tear it up, to be honest.
Yeah, agreed.
Cool. Albert, you with that one as well? A loan out for Esteves?
Yeah, I think Chris makes a really great point about whatever you do, don't do it too soon. I think it would just be smart. Keep him for preseason. Keep him till the end of the transfer window. I don't think there's a big rush to get rid of him. I don't think it's impossible to make it work with 3 right backs. I know that sounds strange, but I think the number of competitions that you're playing, the way that Esgaio realistically is only going to be that kind of senior player rotation, obviously nowhere near as old as guys centre back whose name I've just blanked out on, Neto. Yeah, he's obviously nowhere near as old as that, but he could fill that role. There's a possibility that all 3 of them could make it work and they get enough minutes, but yeah, man, he would rip it up at Gil Vicente. Someone like Passos de Freire, I think he would be excellent. So, but there's no rush on him, I don't think. That's the thing. Keep him for preseason.
They are both injury prone, Porto and Esgaio, right? So
yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like you see how much time Porro spent out of the game injured. So what if you were going through the Champions League group stage and a domestic cup and you only had 1 right back? That would be, so it's possible.
Yeah, most definitely. Next one I'll skip over. Ugarte. I think we're all in the keep category. But the next one actually did surprise me a bit. So 600 votes for 55% of people saying João Palhinha should be sold. 44% said keep. Danny, I'll go with this one to you first. Do you think it's time to let Palhinha go to maybe Wolves is the rumor? Apparently they've inquired, but obviously Spurs have apparently been interested. Man United, Bayern Leverkusen, Atletico Madrid. The list goes on. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to keep him because I do love Palhinha. I think it's but I think we've learned a lesson from keeping, like, for example, William for too long. Where then his value, I mean, William is a different case because he rescinded, but where his value then like kind of decreases. We can even argue that the best time to sell Palhinha was last summer, not this summer. But I think we're good because Ugarte showed his worth. Now, where we sell him to and how much it's for, that's the big thing with Palhinha. And the rumors with Bayer Leverkusen and us getting that Paulinho winger back, not back, the Paulinho winger. That would be a good move, and for both parties, because I think he would flourish in the Bundesliga. I don't know where Leverkusen finished. Maybe not. I think we would get money for him because I don't think Paulinho is all that. I don't know. I don't watch.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like we probably value playing at like 20 to 25, and they probably value him at like 15.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know where Leverkusen finished, but I feel like they finished in the top 4. But even not, they're still a good, formidable team in the Bundesliga. So it wouldn't be bad. There's Portuguese people there now. So
yeah, they finished third, Champions League.
Third, there you go. So Champions League for them. So
the price tag's just gone up if they're in the Champions League.
Facts.
25.
So it's
30.
25 plus Paulinho. I think that's fair.
Yeah, fair enough. What are your thoughts? Do you reckon sell now while he's still got value, or maybe keep for another season? What are your thoughts?
No, I think you got to sell while people are hot. I would sell him now. I think, but then again, it's all about the price tag, and I feel like, we joke about getting 25 million plus Palhinha from Bayer Leverkusen, but I think you should be aiming high in terms of the price tag for João Palhinha. I think he plays in a position where you don't get good players coming around very often, and I think if Premier League clubs are interested, I think you should make that your priority. If you're getting 30 million euros plus for João Palhinha to a Premier League club, I don't think that's impossible. I think Wolves would possibly pay that, maybe like 28 or something. But if you're getting that kind of price tag now for Palhinha, especially because you've got Ugarte coming through, who I agree with Danny, I'm quite comfortable with him taking that spot. That seems like quite a logical step. That's a lot of money that you can reinvest into the squad. And I think there are other positions that you need to strengthen other than central midfield. So, yeah, if you can get a good fee for him, which I'm optimistic you can, then I would definitely take it this summer.
Yeah, fair enough. Chris, are you in the same boat?
Yeah, I think it's to maximize the market. We know we have a capable backup, obviously.
Yeah, I think Danny, you hit the nail on the head there, where it was just like the Williams situation. Obviously, he rescinded, but I remember we rejected offers for like 40 million, 35 million from like Arsenal and from other teams. Yeah. And then obviously it ended up biting us in the arse. Obviously, that situation, knock on wood, will never happen again. What happened with William? But you never know what happens in football. He could tear his ACL. He could get injured for the rest of the season. Might have to retire. Like, anything can happen in football. So I think probably sell now while
I
we can.
still feel like Williams' value still had peaked, even at that point.
Yeah, definitely.
Even if
the only thing, sorry. The only thing with Palhinha is I don't know if I'm not all that convinced, and maybe we'll get into transfers coming in. I'm not all that convinced from Morita. Not yet, at least. Maybe he's not a Palhinha replacement like for like, but that's the only thing I'm worried about. But hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully he's at age.
That's fair enough. Next two, going to skip over Battaglia. 93% said sell. Eduardo Enrique, the same. Got one reply for Rodrigo Battaglia saying that apparently he might be a good squad member, but I very much disagree. No, I say no disrespect, but for Battaglia, I do need disrespect for that one. But I mean, he was good before the injury and then before Alcochete and everything. But I think it's just time. He's got a large contract. I think he's still at what? 2 more years.
He's escaped relegation with Mallorca on the final day, and Maxi's gone down in the end, but he contributed very little.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, both of them can go in my book as well, and I think everyone's going to be in agreement for that one as well. I'm going to skip over the next one, which might be controversial, but Matthias Nunes, are we all in the keep camp, or do some of us think we should sell now?
I would just say I
Again,
could possibly see him.
Price. Yeah, depends on I think if we get offers of 30, 35, then we have to sell him again. You have to be honest.
I would slightly up that to like 40, but I think he's the sort of player I can see going in January, because he's another player who's kind of, this is his first full season, so I don't think it's quite enough to be highly rated. But if he kind of even kicks on next year, and the first few months of next year, maybe keep him for like the Champions League group stage. If he's like done really well on that stage and he's hot, then I can see him going in January. But yeah, keeping this summer, I think, is, especially if you do sell João Palhinha, I think you've got to keep one of them. I think selling both would be too much of an overhaul.
They had 18 plus 2 in their hands this January. Any state.
Okay.
Yeah, that was from Everton, right?
Yeah.
That's too low. Yeah, I think it was a good. I think you can get much more from him. Yeah.
Especially if he goes to the World Cup, especially goes to the World Cup, balls out.
Yeah, most definitely. The next one is surprising to me, at least. Is Daniel Bragança. 84% said keep and 9.7 said loan. Personally, I'm in the loan camp at the moment. He's just too good to be where he is at the moment, I think.
Is the loan going to do anything for him at this point, though?
You might as well sell him. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, I get your point. But I think, because if he gets loaned out and balls out somewhere, obviously value increases. But, let's say we sell Pliny this year. I 100% Matthias Nunes goes the next year. And then that opens up, if it's Ugarte, Morita, Ugarte, and Bragança. I think Amorim does like Bragança. I think it was just a selection headache to play him over Palhinha, then Ugarte, then Matthias Nunes. And even Potter's an 8 as well. It's very difficult. But Albert, what do you think? Keep, sell, loan?
I think I'm leaning towards loan. I mean, I would send him back to somewhere like Estoril, where he was before. I think it's not too far from Lisbon. I think they're a good club, good manager, good young players. Somewhere like that would work. I don't want to sell him yet. I like him. I think I still kind of have this hope that he will be a great player, and I don't think he's had the opportunities yet for people to write him off. I don't think he's had enough missed opportunities. I don't think he's really had any opportunities, on a consistent basis. So I would loan him, definitely, and a good Premier League club as well, I think would be good for him.
Yeah, Danny, what are your thoughts? Keep, sell, or loan?
I want to keep him because same thing as Albert said with Matheus Nunes, it'd be too much of an overhaul with our midfield. Does he deserve more minutes? 100%. But side note, I've seen this funny. It's for sure a rumor. It has to be a rumor, like a fake thing, that we're swapping. Barcelona want us to swap him for Trincão.
Yeah,
I think that. But I think we should keep him. Good squad depth. Good
Danny, I'm looking at his transfer market profile right now, and I'm seeing something that I had never noticed before, or I never knew. I don't know if you boys knew.
I think I know what you're going to say. But yeah,
you know who his agent is?
I do, yeah.
I never knew he was a Just-a-Few boy.
Nice.
Oh, wow, okay.
So we can get a 15 for him, or 10 plus 5, or whatever, the George Ben special, if we want. But... so that's in play. He's 23, or he's, again, happy birthday, bro. He turns 23 in 2 days.
Wow.
So he's about to be 23. I feel like there's no more loans in the cards here. He's got a contract with Sporting until 2025. He's either on the team as a depth option, or George is flipping him. I feel like those are the only 2 options.
Yeah, he recently renewed as well, I'm pretty sure, at the start of this season. He renewed his contract. Yeah, I agree with Albert loading him out. Maybe to a foreign team as well. I know there was talks. I don't know where the source came from for Ajax, and I think that might be a good move, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. But maybe, like I said, with players before, like Quaresma, Italy, Spain. I think the Spanish league would be perfect league for Bragança to show his quality in. But
I think even Italy would be perfect for him. Slower game, more technical. A loan to Italy, I think, would benefit Sporting more in the long run, but I still want to keep him. But
yeah, that's fair enough. So next one I'm going to skip over Nuno Santos, 93% to keep anyway. But next one, Jovan Cabral. So interesting case because his contract expires next year. Was on loan to Lazio, even though Maurizio Sarri said he had no idea who he was. Played, I think, 3 games. Scored 1 on the final game of the season.
Yeah.
So, Chris, I know we've had our talks about Jovan. I'll get rid of the sell option because I guess keep, sell or loan. Bear in mind the contract comes to an end, and you can also have the option to renew it as well if you wanted.
Is he has one more season?
Yeah, he's out of contract at the end of next season.
I think he can be sold for $5 million, and I think we should probably just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danny, agree?
Yeah. I didn't even think maybe even more than 5, but yeah, maybe his contract situation might screw us over. But yeah, we should sell him.
Yeah, Albert, what do you think?
I would snap your hand off 5 mil for Jovan. I'm surprised the figures are that high. Yeah, I would sell now while you can. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think you guys are pushing there at 5 million considering the season he had. Like, he barely started for Sport. He went to Lazio, barely played any games. Like,
unfortunately, I can see him. Go on, sorry.
I was going to say, imagine like getting to the club and the manager just being like, "Who are you? Like, are you sure you work here?" Like, I mean, definitely a knock to the confidence, I think.
I just think with one year left on his deal and the last 2 seasons he's had, I don't think you're going to get.
Transfer market value is at 7. Yeah.
Maybe
I don't know
if
Premier League clubs are still interested. West Ham, Brighton. I don't think they're.
Doubt it.
I don't know.
I think we can maybe trick like a Fulham into it, maybe.
Maybe
like
the Championship. Championship.
Middlesbrough again.
Yeah.
5 mil.
David Pereira constantly talks about a swap for Jovan for David Carmo.
That's fine.
I'm here for that.
Wow.
I'm here for that.
There's
David Pereira in the chat anyways, as I speak of him.
He'll play for Vitoria in 2 years. He might play for Vitoria next year, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it. Next one, I'll skip over. Camacho, sell, obviously. Pedro Gonzalez, keep, that's fine. Marcus Edwards, skip over, keep. Interesting one. Bruno Tabata, most recent link to Saudi Arabia. Chris, I'll start off with you. You called him the Swiss Army knife. Keep, sell, or loan Bruno Tabata.
I think that we should keep him, and I think he wants to stay. Also, he keeps getting linked to the exit. The Saudis keep trying to hand him bags of cash, and he's like, "I don't want it right now." So I think that he should stay. And I think if he was going to be sold, it would have happened by now.
Yeah, fair enough. Albert, what are your thoughts?
I'm a little bit cynical. I feel like he picked up his form at the end of the year, almost, in my opinion, for the opposite reason. I feel like because he was putting himself in the shop window. But I actually think he impressed me. And, for the first time in like the last month of the season, he's starting to impress me and he looked really good.
Was it the Portuguese game where he played as a 9, bro? He was great.
Yeah, man. I was genuinely surprised. I don't know where that came from. So I'm a little bit confused on him. I do think you're actually quite light on wingers as well. That's the thing. So, I reckon you could keep him. And if you'd asked me that 2 months ago, I would have said just sell him or loan him or whatever. But I think there's a genuine argument that you keep him.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Danny, what are your thoughts?
He suffers from the same thing Bragança suffers. Because I think he deserves more minutes. I think he shows that he's a good enough player to play at a regular basis. He's just, unlucky. Sarabia's a baller. Maybe, Amorim didn't have the courage to maybe drop Bot as much as he should have this season. We should keep him. I don't know how this process is with him pushing the Porto admin, if he is going to get suspended for 2 years or not. So maybe it's just, let's save ourselves the headache and sell him. And then once we sell him, he gets suspended from Portugal.
You never know when the random suspension is going to drop.
You never know. Exactly. It could be in a year from now when he's like an automatic starter. The romantic in me thinks, he's Sporting's number 7. There's a big profile player out there that loves wearing the number 7. Maybe we should just get rid of him anyways. And then, But I say keep him.
On to that
I say keep him.
he comes.
No way. He's getting the Cavani treatment, bro. It doesn't matter how many games he plays. It doesn't matter when I've moved in here. Give me my number.
Like, interesting question from David. Do you guys know what percentage of the pass we have on Bruno Zapata? Is it? I think it was 70.
Like
wasn't
10%.
it? That was at the start. I think we played for 10. I think it's
it's
like 70
60.
now.
I think it's 60.
Okay.
It's gone up. It started as 10. We owned as little as 10% of his pass.
Wow.
It was a good
But
deal.
I think it's up to 60 to 80 now.
Yeah. For
So
me
we had
personally,
10 and then we bought 50. So I think it's 60. That sounds right to me.
yeah. For me personally, like the guy's not getting any younger. He's not getting that much playing time. I think he's probably going to get exactly the same playing time as this year. I mean, if we get 5 million for him, 6 million for him from Saudi, he's probably going to get like a pay increase as well. I think just let him go, to be honest. I think he's a good player, don't get me wrong, but like I don't think he's ever going to become a starter for us, to be honest. And like obviously,
I don't see it either.
Yeah, backup players are good to have, but obviously they get to a point where they're not going to want to be a backup player. Was he 25, 26? Like, I mean, he's pretty much in the prime of his career. And like you said, what team wouldn't want a versatile player like him? Could play on the wing, could play in the middle, could play up top. I mean, for me, I think for the good of his career as well, he should probably be angling for a sell, or maybe even like a loan, just to put him in that shop window if he gets loaned out somewhere, like a loan with an option or obligation to buy maybe. But yeah, I think we should probably look to see if we can get some, maybe 6-7 million for him. And I'd say, yeah, take it, even 5 really. I'd say, yeah, fair enough, take it. But yeah, I'll say sell for that one. Next one, currently on loan, Gonzalo Plata. Bought him, I think 2019. It's one of the most high-rated prospects in the world. Had a good, I think it was under 18 World Cup or under 19 World Cup. One of the top scorers in the competition. Danny, start
An
with you.
offer from Barcelona, Joe Sporting.
Yeah, exactly. What a legend. But Danny, keep, loan, sell, Gonzalo Plata.
Valladolid is not taking his option to buy, right? That's
Unless they get promoted, then they'll think about it.
They have a game left or 2 games left and 1 point
They
back.
have a game left. They're 2 points behind the promotion automatically. So they'll be in the playoff regardless. But if Almeria or I forget who else, it's Almeria or someone else chokes in the last game and they win, they can pass. But it'll take more than just them. But they'll be the top seed in the playoffs then. Otherwise.
Right. Nah. The thing is, Mourinho's already mentioned that like it was tough for him to get through to a guy like Plata, right? So I don't see it happening just in general.
He only had 50% also of his pass too.
Yeah. I think another loan will do him well, and then will probably help us either get a good sell in or not. The thing is, he had a DUI, which probably like hurt him a bit in terms of like price point, because now they're looking at him like a bad boy, you know. But hey, who knows, man? Benzema's thriving right now, and he was like the black sheep of world football a few years ago. So,
dude, so was Tarat, bro. Tarat was a party boy. Now he's like
true.
Yeah,
true.
Tarat used to
loan him. Sorry, go.
Nah, I was just saying idiotic. The stories from Tarat's time at QPR are just ridiculous.
They rival the Balotelli stories. Some of them. Yeah. Chris, keep loan, sell, Plata. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think he has enough contract. We probably have him for another 2 more years at least. If Valladolid doesn't bite on the 10% for 50, then try it again. See if we could get someone to bite. Because I don't think there's a place in the team for him, to be honest. And kind of like Eduardo Quaresma, he just doesn't seem like an unwilling player. Like no matter what happens, really.
Yeah, fair enough. Albert, you in the same boat?
Yeah, I've not really seen enough of him to really have a strong opinion. I would just be wary of, you're having this conversation now about all these players who are on long-term contracts who are not really playing. In general, this is probably, it's probably why I'm not working in football, but I'm kind of slightly more cutthroat. I just kind of feel like if it's not working out, just let everybody move on and shake hands and move on. Yeah. But I haven't really seen enough of him, to be honest.
Yeah, That's fair enough. I think he's going to get loaned out next season to Victoria because they have some weird agreement that was never formally like given a reason, but like even given a reason, like we don't know what's going on. So I reckon he's definitely going there.
He actually he's only at Sporting till 2023, so we kind of got to get a buyer because I don't think we're going to re-sign him, to be honest.
True.
Yeah.
Or he's got to pop off on the first team, which seems unlikely.
He's still young is a good thing. Someone's definitely going to take a gamble on him.
He's played so well for Ecuador, though. That's the crazy part. Like, he balls for Ecuador. They finished third in World Cup qualifying. Like, he was a massive part of that.
I remember that picture of him nutmegging James Rodriguez went all over Twitter, especially Sporting fans, like taking piss out Porto fans. Like, I mean, that was a good time. And I think he's a good player, but maybe just not in our league or our team.
Yeah.
And like Danny said, DUI probably isn't going to help his case as well. But I'm going to skip over the next few. If any of you have different opinions, feel free to interject. Luis Felipe, Andros Barra, both sell. Isam Slimani as well, both sell. Let me just open the thread a bit more. Paulinho, I mean, I think we're all going to say keep here, but it was 61%, 38 keep to sell. Does anyone want to sell Paulinho? Bear in mind that
I don't think the value can be.
What was the percentage?
61% said keep, 38% said sell.
I thought you meant the other way around. Yeah, agreed.
Cool. Pedro Mendes sell. Pedro Marques sell. Thiago Tomas was keep, but I think he's going to go to Stuttgart anyway for another season, so we'll skip over that one too. And then there were some that I remembered. Idrissa Doumbia, sell, obviously. Renan, sell, even though I think maybe he was unfairly treated a bit. Like, I mean, he was a hero in 2 competitions for us. Like, I'm not saying this is like a massive send-off, but like just a tweet saying like, thank you for all you do. Because I know they've not done that for many people in the past that have left. But last but not least, someone who I remembered at the last second, Dario Sugo. And I'll start off with you, Danny. Keep, sell, loan.
Honestly, at this point, loan him because it does seem like Morita is bang on. But it's also a decent option to have in case we really do have like injury struggles. Then we'll still at least have like that fifth that can still play U23s or the B team, whatever. So it may be beneficial just for us to keep him. Personally, I want to keep him. I think this could be a good year for him where I think he's 18 now or 19. He's showed that he's good enough, like with his few cameos last season. He's done well for the juniors and stuff. So personally, I would like to keep him for his progression. I think it's best for him to loan him for us to see. But yeah, it's why not keep him, have him play in the youth system, and then that's our emergency backup should 2 people go down, because we're not all that, we only have around like 4 rotated players in midfield at all time, right? So
yeah. What are your thoughts? Keep, sell, loan?
I agree with Danny there. Yeah, I don't, at such a young age, I don't think there's a real rush to get him out on loan to a men's team right now. So I mean, stick around with the B team. I think that would suit him, and I think this time next year is the season when we should be having that conversation about does he need integrated into the first team or going out on loan to a smaller club. But yeah, I think for now, keep him in and around Ruben Amorim so he can learn the system. Keep him around the B team. That'll be perfect.
Yeah, fair enough. Finally, Chris, keep, sell, loan.
Dude, I'm just blanking. Who are we talking about again?
Dario Sugo.
Oh, Dario Sugo. That's right. I literally have my thought formed. It depends on who else leaves in the midfield, because if we lose Pelinha and Nunes, then I think he kind of needs to stay for numbers. But if Amorim fights and keeps both of them, as like the news has been reporting recently, I don't know. Then I think that maybe a loan might be worth it if he's not going to get burned. Especially if we buy Morita too, then it's like all of a sudden, but the midfield's kind of crowded. So I think a loan makes sense then. But he's a guy that I honestly do not think would get as much burn in the first division as someone like Esteves, who's like, on a similar age group level for him. So second division, or or he just stays in the former zone, plays with the B team, and plays youth league, etc. But first division loan. Now I'm thinking about it. I don't think it's worth it for him, to be honest. But a second division loan, maybe.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I did forget one, Danny. I'll leave it to you. Felipe Chabi, keep loan. So,
Dude, he got no burn at the worst team in the second division.
Hold on. Renew his contract for another 10 years. Loaning my boy out. Academica just got relegated. We need him in the third division.
Is his contract
I think
done?
It's this year.
Or is it
no?
the season after?
One more season.
Oh, so he's back.
One last ride.
100%.
One last
ride. 27? Is he? Or am I guessing?
He's 28.
He's 29.
Oh, he's old. Okay. Yeah. Sell. I'm surprised they haven't terminated his contract. Like, they've done it with so many
what do you mean sell? Who's buying him, bro?
Played 90% of minutes for Academica last season.
Man, poor kid.
He's one of those players on Football Manager where you're giving him away for free, and the team that picks him up still wants you to contribute to his wages.
Yeah, that is.
But the thing is like, bro, his wages can't be that. His wages got to be like $300K more. Do you think,
bro? For a third division team, that's a lot.
I know. So Sporting's definitely still been paying him this entire time.
300K euros is like almost $1 million Canadian, bro. Holy shit.
Cool. So that's it for the squad lists. We'll move on to transfer ins and outs now. Firstly, hashtag Slimani Watch. Make sure you hashtag it whenever you speak about Slimani. Definitely has the coldest drip in the league, I think. Definitely.
Slimani drip watch needs to continue.
100%.
But
especially as he seeks employment.
That might be coming to an end soon, though. The rumor is George Jesus and Fenerbahce are looking into signing him. Obviously, George Jesus is going to be the new manager of Fenerbahce, and obviously worked with him before. Rumors that he wanted him at Benfica a few years ago as well. So, Danny, man, Slimani to Fenerbahce with JJ. What are your thoughts?
He played there before, right?
Yeah, he tanked.
He was at Fener for a bit, right?
Yeah, he was not very good.
Yeah, might as well, man. By the way, is JJ official at Fener? No.
Not yet, no. But it's one of them where it's not been announced, but apparently it's as good as done.
It's been announced. Yeah, okay, got it.
How much are they gonna pay him?
I mean,
he was saying, I remember like those leaked calls. It's like he doesn't take offers for under 10 mil. It's like, are they gonna pay him that much? Like.
Side note, I see JJ doing something stupid at an Istanbul derby.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
I see him. Oh, man.
Vitor Pereira was taunting the fans, and then they all rushed the field, and he had to, like, sprint to the tunnel.
Has George Jesus ever managed in Turkey before? Because I feel like he's one of the most, like, Turkish league managers there is who's never managed in Turkey. He's just got, like, Turkish Liga written all over him.
No, it's only Portugal and then Saudi for a year, and then back to Benfica, I think. Oh no, he went to Brazil, obviously, for Flamengo.
Of course,
yeah.
One of the coaches of the year when he was there. So we'll move on to the next one. We spoke about Andre Paulo renewing, like, with no disrespect to him, no one really cares. So we'll move on, I suppose. Let me go to the next one, which is Francisco Trincao, formerly of Wolves now, currently of Barcelona, is linked, and apparently Amorim desperately wants him, sort of number one priority for Amorim. Albert, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts? Do you see it happening, and do you think it will be a great move for club and player?
On paper, it makes a lot of sense. The history with the manager, Trincao obviously played the best football of his career in Portugal. So I think it makes a lot of sense from that perspective. I think you need a winger as well. Honestly, on paper, like I said, it ticks a lot of boxes. My only question mark would be, are you getting the same Trincao that Barcelona paid all that money for? Because he's not exactly had the best couple of seasons of his career. But I think if you can get it like on a loan deal that works for you guys financially, then I think it's worth, and it's not even that, I'm not even going to say the risk. I think it's worth, taking a chance, because if it goes right, I think it could go very right, and it could be a very exciting deal. So yeah, I'm positive about it. I like the idea of it, definitely.
Yeah, fair enough. Chris, what are your thoughts on the Trincao move?
I honestly think it'd be good. I think it'd be a good loan to bring in. We've just had a great lone winger. See if we get a hit on 2 in a row. Yeah, I think it's gonna depend on Barcelona's summer business, whether they can stick him into other deals, etc. So I feel like we're kind of their fallback plan for him, but I would take him. He had an up and down season this season, but I think he can definitely still perform in the Portuguese league.
Yeah, Danny, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, he played his best under Amorim at Braga. I don't see why he can't now after the maturity of playing. He's like in his spells at Barca, he didn't do that bad. He was playing on a very bad.
No,
Barca
I remember he
team,
used to
right?
sub in, and they were like pretty high on him.
Exactly. I'm shocked that they like loaned them out. I mean, okay, the Wolves experience didn't go as well as maybe a lot of us thought it would, but it's still a good experience to have. And I mean, if we even look within our team, like Potts didn't have the best experience at Wolves, right? But he's young. He's young. I think there's a player there. So, and again, the comfort level of working with Amorim. Apparently, from what I've heard a few years ago, Trincão is a Sportingista, so playing for his boyhood club could bring the good, could bring the bad, could bring a lot of pressure too. But especially if we can get some sort of like a loan with an option to buy, I'm looking at the Vinagre deal would probably be perfect for a Trincão. We should snatch it. But I'm with you, Chris. I think that they're probably using that card for something else. But I mean, realistically, who can Barca really swap Trincão for that they would be interested in? They're probably getting rid of Traore. They're probably getting rid of Aubameyang.
Umtiti.
Umtiti's probably gone. Who's in the midfield? That's the De Jongs are both gone. There's gonna be a massive turnover at Barcelona this year. So I don't see why we don't get Trincão. I don't see why they keep Trincão unless they're especially seeing that they loaned them to Wolves and it didn't work out. They have to, and I think Sporting or Benfica, if we're talking in the Barcelona aspect of it, Sporting or Benfica would be perfect because there's two clubs that'll go probably be in Champions League, both of them. One of them still has to qualify, but I don't see why they don't. I mean, hopefully they don't, right? Am I right, boys? But
no, we need coefficient points, bro.
I don't give a fuck. Fuck coefficient. But no, but seriously, Trincão, I mean, to a Portuguese league team would be it's the best move for his career. It's the smartest move in a Barcelona aspect. So I don't see where else he would go aside from either of us two. My only worry is Benfica can probably pay more for him. That's my literal only worry. But he's probably more familiar with Amorim and stuff like that too. So that'll probably push us to getting him. But we'll see. I think it'd be great.
Apparently, Benfica are in for a guy called Enzo Fernandez from Argentina, who I believe is a winger, and also David Neres, formerly of Shakhtar, as well, was a rumor. So they might not be in for Trincão anymore. It might be a smoke screen to sort of maybe put Sporting off. I don't know, but yeah. I'm going to read through some news that we've had before, just loose end, just catching everyone up. Shout out Yannick Bolasie, was his birthday yesterday. And he responded to us on Twitter. What a man. Come on the podcast, bro. Stop airing my DMs.
Come on, man.
We got to clip this up to be like, okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Bolasie, sporting legend. We'd love to have you on the pod.
Facts. And we'll cut it off there. So, lovely. So, next one, Renan finally might be leaving Sporting. Got a new agent, which is Deco. Also represents Rafinha. Apparently, strong possibility of returning to Brazil. Coates has been working overtime in Alcochete, trying to fix his knee problems. Apparently, has quite bad knee tendonitis, I believe, in his right knee. So he'll be looking to rehab that. Next one, which we'll talk about now, is Marita. Mario Silva is the coach of Santa Clara. Said, "Yeah, he's gone. Like he's done." So. One of the longest transfer sagas I can remember, and we usually have a lot of them for Sporting. Been like 2 months, and we finally got him. Albert, what are your thoughts on Morita? Do you think he's going to come in and make an instant impact, or what are your thoughts?
If you'd asked me this question this time last year, I would have been so excited. I would have said this is like the perfect move. He's a great player. He hasn't quite had the same season, which is a bit of a question mark. But then I think he's been a bit unsettled because basically I think he wanted to leave last summer and it never happened. I think he also wanted to leave at the end of this year. Like he kind of knew the sporting rumours and I think he was unhappy there. So that's where the only question mark for me comes up. As a player, I think it's a great move. I think this, like, he's a top player. He's a top player in this league. He could be a brilliant player for Sporting. He's got a good age profile, relatively unknown player. I think it's perfect. But yeah, these last this season has added a couple of question marks maybe about his attitude, because if he's acting that way at Santa Clara, could he act the same way at Sporting? Who knows? I think for the money that's involved, because what we're talking around €5 million or even less,
Like
I would take it, because I think it's a low enough fee that the risk isn't super high. I think he's proved that he has the ability to go so much higher than be a €5 million player. I mean, you could buy him for 5 million and sell him for easily 4 times that in a season or 2 seasons. So yeah, I would. It's not as perfect as maybe it was 12 months ago, but I would still take the chance given the kind of money that's been mentioned. Definitely.
Yeah, that's fair enough. The only thing that worries me about this is I wouldn't say I like Santa Clara, but I tolerate them as a team. At the moment, they seem to be going through quite a bad stage. Different sad, and Mario Silva was getting fired. Now he got contract extension. Yeah. So I don't know if he knows a lot about the squad, like if he knows Morita's going. The rumor was that they're trying to hold up to get more money and Sporting on like the sort of last patience bit, where if they're going to hold it up again, they're just going to go for someone else. So if it's not announced in a week's time, then maybe we'll go for someone else. But Chris and Danny, do you have any other thoughts on Morita, the player in general?
No, not really. I'm all for having him. I'm just convinced right now he'll be the 4th option. We have if we keep Nunes, of course, Nunes Ugarte, and then Bragança, and then it'll be Morita. But we'll see. I've been wrong before. Hopefully he proves me wrong like Reis. But yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Next bit of news is that Rafael Leão will have to pay up to €19 million for Sporting. Finally gets to an end. Numerous appeals, numerous delays, but we finally got our amount. Rafael Leão is probably going to be in debt for years and years.
You signed a new contract too.
Yeah.
Did you see the Real Madrid rumor, boys?
Yeah.
Give him like the Mbappe sign-on fee, and we're set.
Yeah, exactly.
Take it all away.
God damn.
But yeah, that's one that's finally come to an end. Speaking of going to an end, Ruben Amorim was linked to PSG for about a day and a half, and then quickly, said it's not going to happen. It looked like it was going to definitely be sort of a concrete proposal, because I believe it's his brother-in-law works or used to work for PSG, so he's got the connections there. George Mendes-esque connections, even.
He actively works there.
Yeah, and he was the one pushing for it, but apparently they're going to try and get the likes of Zidane and Conte as their top 2. But I guess I think it's one to keep an eye on, definitely, because if they don't get any of those 2, I think Conte's more likely to say it's Spurs. Zidane.
What's the buyout? 30 million. Do you think there's a chance that PSG would just pay Sporting 30 million?
100%.
Because if they do, honestly, bro, we got to do it. Send him.
I don't think so, just because I'm not sure that their new sporting director, Kylian Mbappe, is quite aware of Amorim's work.
Yeah, true.
I mean, he's got the Nuno Mendes guarantee there. Like, you can just say, what, he's good. And I guess Danilo to an extent as well. You never know. But so apparently Ruben Amorim's going nowhere, but definitely one to keep an eye on. Apparently he's going to stay. This is what Record reporting, stay for at least one more season. So maybe we have one more year of Amorim, which is going to be sad to see him go. But on to bigger and better things for him, I suppose. Next bit of news is we spoke about earlier. Maximiano was relegated. Sporting have 10% of any future sale. Recently been linked to Napoli, Barcelona, and Celta Vigo. Just trying to think. Bruno Paz as well. Finally, sort of ends his employment with Sporting. It was looking.
End of an era.
Yeah, he had a really bad injury. Was supposed to be sort of what Paulinho was to us now.
Mm-hmm.
but unfortunately, for him, I mean, good for him. Still goes to a team that wears green and white. I believe they finished third in the Turkish division this year or fourth.
Yeah, they'll be in the Europa League group.
Yeah, so a good move for him. Definitely not a step down by any means, but I mean, sad to see him go. But I think he's definitely I think he's a good player, and I think he's one that is going to be. I'm not saying like a top Premier League player, but I can definitely see him turning into like a good holding midfielder, one that like goes to a bigger club than he's already at. So I mean, good luck to him. I'm just looking at some other news. Sarabia was called up to the Spanish squad. Pedro Porro wasn't, which is good for us because we're playing Spain in the Nations League. So no Porro injury, luckily. Azbajag, friend of the show, someone who came on the podcast with me and Chris. His team, Maribor, won the league. So congratulations to him. So yeah, shout out Azbajag. And I'm pretty sure that's pretty much it. The rest of them things we spoke about before, Paulinho rumours, Amorim rumours. One more thing I will add, record reporting on the 23rd of May, the Sporting do want to sign a striker in the window. However, it's going to be a loan or a free transfer. Obviously, like Navarro has been linked and some other strikers have been linked, but it has to be a free transfer. Is there anyone that you guys have in mind that you think should bring in?
Scored a banger over the weekend in Turkey. A legend in many people's eyes. Bring Mario to Portugal.
Is he a free agent?
Disaster waiting to happen, but bring Mario to Portugal.
Didn't he score 5 goals?
Oh man,
yeah. Division of Turkey, yeah, but were two of them bangers?
He's in the first, isn't he? I thought.
I don't think he is. Let me double check.
He's in because it's gonna sound stupid, but he's on FIFA, and I get his card all the time. I'm pretty sure.
He's on the first. My bad.
I'm pretty sure anyway.
What team is he on?
Adani Demirspor. Plays for the Super League. Yeah.
Yeah, good shout by DP Comps, but I'll tell you, Amorim, the man could barely handle Slimani.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen there.
Yeah, that's a good shout from David Oscar Estupinan from Guimarães. I think his contract is up, right?
Yeah, he's a free agent.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
If you want someone who can score headers, he's your man.
Yeah, which is what we brought Slimani for, really. So
yeah. Is Danny Motta a free agent this year, or is it next year?
Well, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
He played left wing a lot though at Monza.
I don't really see the hype with him, to be honest. Like, I mean, like, no disrespect, but he was at Monza. Like, if he was good enough at that level, you think he might have been somewhere else. I know he was good for the under-21s, the main striker there, but like, is he going to be that good?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he played in like the Juve setup. Let me quickly check.
Yeah, I think they sold him to Monza.
So it could have just been like an escape for him, right?
Yeah, I think so.
He's represented by Justifood also. We could probably get him pretty easily, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I
don't know who.
Has Monza gone up, though, or did they get knocked out in the playoff?
Let's check.
But yeah, good shout.
They play tomorrow against Pisa, so I'm guessing they're in the playoff.
They're still alive. Still to be determined.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I assume maybe if they go out, they might keep him. But obviously,
Pisa finished third. Sorry,
you go.
And Monza fourth, but tied with the same points.
Damn.
So we'll see.
Cool. Yeah, unless like a loan comes up from like the Premier League, like one of the players, like a striker from there, or like any other league, I really don't see us getting another striker. To be honest, I think he's probably going to go with. Oh yeah, we definitely need it, but I think it's going to be Paulinho and Rodrigo, and is it Fatou, the Ghanaian prodigy? I believe.
Yeah, but he's more left wing. I think he's more of a left winger though.
Yeah,
at least in Ghana, that's what he's played. Right? I don't know about him here. Drippy though, he's replacing Slimani when it comes to the drip.
Yeah, most definitely. Cool. Yeah, I think that's it for sort of the loose ends. Chris, do you have any modalities to go over?
Just skip over basketball.
I unfortunately don't have modalities today. There's still a lot to play for out there. Basketball is on the brink of elimination though. It's 2-0. We already talked about like some of the other ones that failed. Ladies, soft footy, handball. We know that they're already done. Hockey's still competing. We know volleyball's done. Futsal playoffs haven't even started yet. Yeah, I guess that's happened since. So yeah, they won the Taça de Portugal, and they have it in the playoffs. We'll start soon for that. That always goes the latest, but yeah, it's not looking good for basketball.
Cool. But before we wrap things up, I want to give a special shout out to Marcus Edwards for one of the worst interviews of all time. Like, I mean, I felt so bad for him. He was just so uncomfortable in that interview. And some of the questions he was being asked, even I was like, okay. Like,
they're asking him like how to slide in a girl's DMs. Like,
yeah, that was just
unreal.
My favorite part, because I watched it on my lunch break. My favorite part is when they're talking about like what he misses, like what he does back home in like London, and he was like he stopped himself from saying like I link up with the mandem. He was just like I link.
Yeah.
I meet up with my friends. I'm like, but just bring the roadman out, bro.
Yeah, there was some points as well. The Nando's thing made me laugh because it reminded me of when we had Nuno Sousa on, and he was like, "Nando's is shit." He's like, I don't like Nando's. So like,
to me, it's just weird, bro. You're in Portugal where rotisserie chicken is like the shit everywhere.
Dude, he like doesn't know how to like ask for it, so he like can't go to a restaurant, so he just like hasn't ever had a good one.
Man.
I guess.
But, like he's like within 100 yards of being able to get one. He just like can't do it.
Yeah. Do you know what though? I know it was a funny interview, but I'm so pleased that he did it because like his whole thing before has been that he's like so reserved and like he just won't speak. And I'm really pleased that he did.
The floor is yours, bro. Take it away.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want. He's like, thanks.
The joke thing is though, like, yo, Porto, look at my Instagram, bro. What about that selfie? You know?
Yo, he was not happy. Yo, he was actually getting mad. It seemed like he was actually getting mad at when they were ranking like the hotness, and they were telling him about it. Like it seemed like he was actually getting pissed. It was like, oh my god.
But this is the thing, right? Because he's like his humor as someone from London, right? His humor was just like a young kid from London, right? He comes across really serious, but that's him just joking around. But the disconnect between him and the interviewer, I thought the interviewer did a good job, like did his best, but it was just two people who just like did not.
It's
connect.
different cultures. I was saying that too. It's like it was just two different cultures. They didn't mesh. Sporting, call one of us up. We'll get a better interview.
Yeah. I was gonna say as well, like he was at Guimarães since 2017, 2018. Doesn't speak a word of Portuguese, and then like I was like, "Do you not even know the colors?" He was like, "Nah." So, but yeah, probably not a good Portuguese speaker. Apparently, he's taking lessons though, which I don't believe. Like, I mean, I think you need to sack that teacher, to be honest. Get a new one. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that wraps up our end of season review. Before we go, special shout out to Albert. Thank you for joining us, man. You can see the @ he's got in his name at Longball Football. Make sure to follow it on Twitter. Do you have just Spotify and Apple Music and things like that as well?
Man, we're everywhere. I'm pretty sure we're everywhere. So wherever you listen, give it a search. If it's not on there, just send us a message. We'll see what we can do.
Cool. Sounds good. Yeah, make sure to give them a follow and listen to them. Great guys, Albert and Barney, man. Listen to them quite a lot. And like genuinely, if you want some unbiased commentary, because we definitely do not provide that here, go over there. Genuinely.
We try.
Yeah, we try.
It's
but sometimes it doesn't work. Yeah, it is very hard. But yeah.
No, just before we go, I do want to quickly say a big thank you to you guys as well for the invitation. Like, I really enjoyed this. I was a little bit nervous doing my first ever live thing. Like, I've got the luxury of me and Barney just like pre-record and edit. So this was live, but genuinely big thank you for the invitation. I had a lot of fun, and we should definitely do this again. If Marcus Edwards does another interview, we'll just do like a live watch along.
Yeah,
definitely. And just before we go, this is the last episode of the season. We'll probably be here and there, maybe doing a transfer special review, but this is probably the last time you're going to see us till maybe July or August. So, I mean, thank you all for the support we've had over the last season. We've managed to get some more incredible guests on, such as Albert next to me, and we've obviously had Nuno Sousa. We've had some other good guests as well throughout the seasons. Say again, sorry.
Azbejug or whatever his name is.
Yeah,
Yep.
Azbajog, yeah, of course. Like,
Good
and hopefully next season, Yannick Bolasie, man. I mean, only a matter of time at this point. But yeah, if you do want to keep up to date with us, we are all active on Twitter, especially on the Sporting160_EN account. Follow there if you want to find the latest for transfer rumors. If you want to see hashtag Slimani Watch, hashtag Slimani Drip Watch, update that daily. I mean, I actually have so much fun finding them photos, which is just literally him stealing from his Instagram, which is fine. But yeah, make sure to follow us all. Before I go, I'll give the banners out. Follow Chris down there. You can follow Danny down there. You can follow me here. And last but not least, make sure you follow Sporting160_EN, Spotify, Twitter, Instagram, Soundcloud, Apple iTunes Music, and I believe that should be it in terms of links.
TikTok coming soon.
Yeah. Danny has said if we get 10 likes on this video, he'll start doing TikTok dances.
More. 50 likes.
It's definitely gonna get
50 likes, and we're doing a compilation dance video.
Of just you.
100 likes. 100 likes.
I'm clipping this, by the way, and that's going
All right,
on.
100 likes. 100 all three of us. Albert, if you want to join us, you're more than happy to join us. And maybe Steph. We're getting in a little dance on TikTok.
Okay. Is that 100 YouTube likes, I assume? Not
100
likes.
YouTube likes, of course.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, sounds good to me. But yeah, thank you all again for watching. We'll probably see you in July, August sometime. Peace.